Hello there, and you're very welcome to another episode of Arkham Avengers Fantasy Football Premier League podcast. You join me, the host, along with Eamon and Hector, where we take a look to see how our managers are getting on in their quest to be crowned the champion of the league for the season 2021-22. Gentlemen, it's nice to have you back for another episode. How are we all?
Well, I'm not too bad, thank you very much. Fully rested, have enjoyed the football over Gameweek 10. Looking forward to discussing the managers with yourselves and with our listeners. Hector?
I'm good. I've been looking forward actually to the next game week. I didn't think the football was very good. But, we will talk about it when it comes here. Before we go further, as usual, I want to give a big shout out.
Here we go, Dickie.
Eamon, let him give the shout out and let's be done with it.
Okay, get on with it, Hector, can you?
Thank you, Eamon. Thank you. I want to give a big shout out to all our listeners in America and in Germany. We also have listeners in Longford. Big high five to our listeners in Longford and to our listeners also in Mayo and in Galway. And I think we also have listeners on, Limerick. Well, nice to have you. And our listeners in Swords, thank you for listening to us. Okay. Mick, you're back again?
That's right, I'm back again for another week. I thought I'd come back.
Well, I have to say, Mick, some of our listeners actually said that they enjoyed you being on the show last week. And we're looking forward to you coming back. So it's a pleasure to have you.
Well, it's nice to be back, so it is. I did contemplate what the lads were talking about, and I just thought, look, I'll give them another chance.
That's very pleasant of you, isn't it? We're talking about football.
Well, no, hold on a minute again, Eamon. I mean, you're guys on the rope. And Hector is busy, weeding, so he is. I like to talk about football, so I do. And if I wanted to watch, nature programs, I'd sit at home and put my feet up.
It's a pity you wouldn't put your feet up and you wouldn't be here.
What?
Nothing. I didn't say anything at all.
Okay, we'll get on with the show. Now, lads, before we go any further, can I just say, can we talk about football? None of this weeds, flowers, flowery chat or anything such. Let's just talk about the football. Is that okay?
That's fine with me. I'm ready to play football.
Well, look, I've no problem with that. I haven't. I did say last week that I would stick to the football.
Hector? I will talk football. Well, good. Glad to have that sorted out. Okay. Now, the highest points in game week 10 were 116. The average points were 42. We'll take a look to see how the Arkham Avengers fantasy football table is looking after game week 10. In first place, there's no change. It's Sari KDB. They got 46 points. Hector, take it away. Yeah, well, that's right. They got the 46 points. They had the 3 transfers. They lost 4 points. They brought Tony in. They got 2 points for him. They put the Ronaldo out. And the Ronaldo, he get the 12 points. They bring in Foden. He get 2 points. Benrahma, he went out, he got the 5 points. They brought Son in, he got 2 points. They put Sarr out, he got 2 points. When you look at it like that, the transfer, they did not work. You put out the guys who are getting points, you bring in the guys who are not getting the points. Now, having said that, I think overall, they're still managing to get the points. They had Salah, he's the captain, he got the 10 points. Rudiger got 12 points. They had Rafinha, he got the 9 points. Jimenez got 9 points as well. That was it. The rest of the team, they're just averaging 1 and 2 points. Probably not as good as what the manager would want to see. Now, you mentioned, of course, the transfers there. The transfers didn't work out for them at all.
No, the transfers didn't work out at all. I mean, they put the Ronaldo out. I'm going to throw this out here. The cats and the dogs on the street would know that Man U were smarting from the previous match, and they had to make a statement, a bold statement. And the person who's going to help you make that statement is Ronaldo.
But you said that Ronaldo is the new donkey, and you're sticking up now for the Ronaldo.
I'm saying, he's still the new donkey to me. I mean, he doesn't work that hard.
Well, he got 12 points. He must be doing something.
Yeah, well, look, he is brilliant. He is a good player. He's not the greatest worker, but he will pull it out of the bag for you at times. And that was the time to keep Ronaldo in.
Okay, this is our new manager. They're still holding first place.
Yeah, they're holding first place, and that's a credit to them. We can't take anything away from them. They are doing it. However, I think they're starting to feel the pressure. They're only 24 points ahead of second place. And I think it's a case of last week they were the road runner. And we had no special effects from Hector or anything like that.
I'm not doing anything. I'm sticking to talking about the football to you.
And this week, instead of being roadrunner, the case of roadkill. That's a bit harsh, so it is. I don't think so. Mick, what do you make of this?
Well, yeah, again, I don't know what the roadrunner and roadkill's got to do with it. The manager's holding his own here, and I don't think the game week 10 was a particularly good week for a lot of managers, in getting goals and getting points. I think there's been a lot of issues with that, So in my book, okay, the transfers didn't work out the way they wanted to work out, but that doesn't mean that this week didn't work for them. They're still in first place. As Eamon says, they're 24 points ahead. I think that's doing well. That's good in my books.
Moving along, in second place, it's Tobogger 6. They got 50 points. Eamon, do you want to talk about the team? Okay, so they had the one transfer. They brought Alexander Arnold in. They got 1 point. They put Alonso out. They didn't get any point. They'd probably been better off to keep the transfer. To get 1 point, it's a bit of a waste of a transfer in my book. The defence is holding fine there. They're like Livermento and Christensen. They got 6 points each. The defence, apart from that, Alexander Arnold had an off week and Semedo got 2 points. So it's not really looking too good there. Now, their midfield, though, is where things are improving. They had Salah as captain. Rafinha is 9 points. Benrahma is 5. And Heves is 6 points. Forwards, it's really not working there. And there's not a lot on the bench, I have to say. Apart from the little crux of a matter here is Ramsdale, who got 10 points. The goalkeeper left on the bench. A little bit of a mistake there. However, I still think there's a lot of players here who are underperforming. I think Vardy, Antonio, Brownhill, Ings is injured. He's on the bench. Don't bother keeping him there. So far, this manager is not showing much of an improvement. Now, they're holding, but they're not really improving the way they should be.
Third place has Raglan Road. And Raglan Road move up 1 place this week, and they got 46 points. Now, Mick, take this one away for us.
Alright, so they got the 46 points. They had one transfer and they brought on the guy Livermento, 6 points. McWillow went out for 1 point. I think it's a very good transfer there. That's really worked out for them there, and they had Salah as the captain. They did have Ronaldo on at forwards, so that's a positive thing there. The other guys, St. Maximin and Tony, didn't really do too much there. A couple of guys blanking there. White's got 6 points, but you've got Diaz, 1 point. Townsend got 2 points, was it? And Dallas 2 points. Stewart got the 2 points. Not really performing all that great, and there's not a lot on the bench either, so there wasn't. So a couple of questions here about this.
Yeah, I do think, yes, there are questions here. I'm in my view, I think that, when Mick has mentioned here that White got 6 points, Salah, who was the captain, got 10 points, Ronaldo got 12 points, and Livermento got 6 points. The rest of the players are a bit of a shambles. They must have been stargazing, because they certainly weren't looking at any action on the pitch here. And that bench is useless. And they have gone up 1 position. I think it's just a fallout from the week that was there. I think if you had a different type of week where some players were performing and getting points in there, Raglan might not have gone up.
Raglan might have gone up, though, if their players had performed.
Yeah, well, they have a few players who are underperforming here.
Now, but they've gone up to third place. You can't take that away from them. Yes, Eamon, you can't take that away, When you move up, you go up.
Well, I know when you move up, you move up.
That's right, you move up. That's it. They're not moving down, so they're not.
I know that. I didn't say that they were moving down, but yes, I still feel they have a number of players who are underperforming.
Fourth place has Legion 11, and they got 27 points. Who wants to have a chat about this?
I don't want to talk about this team.
I ain't seen nothing.
I don't know. I thought those lads were all going to talk.
All right, okay, listen, I'll move us along here. So they got 27 points. They had 1 transfer, and they brought Tillemans in for 2 points. They put Gallagher out, who got 13 points. Is that a transfer that's backfired or what? Yeah, not a good move. He very poor, I have to say. And they had Salah as the captain, so he got them to 10 points. They really didn't have anybody else working here. I think if you look at the team and the points they got in, Salah's got the 10 points. So that's one player. The other 10 players, they only managed 17 points. Is that a bit of a worry? Or what would you feel? Hey man, how would you feel if you were that manager?
I'd feel like throwing a hairdryer at these punters or a few boots or a cup and saucer. Yeah, it is. It's not good enough. There's 1s and 2s in there. There's not even a 3 on the pitch. It's shocking. The bench is no better. They are a new manager, and we thought that this manager was, moving, shaking. But seriously, I think this week they're certainly out his team.
And that's a reflection, though, isn't it, of the players not playing properly and not playing to their full maximum.
I don't know what it is, but I mean, the transfer didn't work. And I mean, Gallagher isn't a bad player. He shouldn't have been left there. I think some managers are reacting with the transfers here.
And you're saying they're reacting, and some, as we will see, are not reacting at all.
And there's a good few of those not reacting whatsoever.
Down to 5th place then has Ain't Got a Clue. And they got 52 points and they played a free hit. Eamon, was it a good week for them? Or was it an average week?
They got 52 points. They're 10 points ahead of the average there. The one thing I'll say is the manager certainly must have been listening to us last week, because he switched from Van Dijk, who only got the 1 point. They had Salah as the captain. They got 10 points there. They also have Jorginho there, who's 10 points. They're getting points on the pitch, which is good. I mean, Chilwell got 8. Mitchell got 6. Benrahma was there with 5. Saka on the bench with 6 points. But yeah, look, I would be asking here now. They have managed to shake things up a little bit. Is there more to come from this manager? They're in 5th place. They've managed to keep 5th place against much of the odds and much of the questioning and head scratching from me. And I think, I'd like to see more now from this manager.
Hector, you wanted to say something there? Yeah, I think that this manager, they are taking it slowly. I think, they have waited a few weeks. And now they have probably been seeing how some of the other players are performing. They are not gone for some of the big names that some other managers have gone. They are going for, they have Jorginho in there. They did not go for Foden. They did not go for Grealish. They did not go for any Man United players. And, I think that the manager is doing things their way, and that is good. I like to see that. 6th place has Arkham Avengers at 52 points. Hey man, I know you're trying to get talking.
Just let me say what I have to say, and then the guys can talk away.
Okay man, go on.
Okay, so look, 52 points. It's not a bad result. It's a decent result for the spoofer. They had 2 transfers and they lost 4 points on this one here. They had Salah as the captain for 10 points. They brought in Foden, who is a good player, but he only got 2 points for him, and he put Allen out 2 points. That cancels itself out there. And he brought in Huang, who got 2 points, and he put Lukaku out. It's unfortunate. Huang had a goal that wasn't, was disallowed, and I don't think while the 2 transfers this week haven't paid off, I think they probably will pay off in the long term here. There might have been, and this is going to sound really strange coming from me, a little method to the spoofer's madness here.
Eamon, what do you make of that?
Well, Foden is a very good player. He's a decent player. Now, I think they were off form, and Man City were off form. Huang is not a bad player either. He's instrumental, he's challenging, he's creative. And I think Antonio really didn't do a lot there. He could have done a bit better. Vardy really didn't do anything. And of the 3 forwards, Huang would be the guy I would be looking at. The midfield here for the spoofer, Rafinha. He stuck with Rafinha. And I have to give credit there, because Rafinha has been of sorts, hasn't really been performing. Got 9 points out of him. He kept Salah as the captain, but he also had Bowen there, 11 points. It was very good. And in the defence then, like Christensen got 6 points. He stuck with Christensen, and he has Livramento 6 points. And Sass got 2 points. He's getting the points on the pitch, but he also has the points on the bench. Saka got 6. White got 6. Has 12 points on the bench. He might be in 6th place, and I know I'm probably the spoofer's hardest critic, but I think the spoofer had a good week here. He's surviving another week. Last week I said he was on the ropes. This week he has survived, and I think he has to be commended for that there. He lost 4 points, but he has done much better than some other managers here.
Well, thank God we're recording this, because that actually sounds like praise.
I think Eamon's going soft on his edge side.
I'm not going soft, but I remembered Bernard said, I don't give credit where credit's due. And I just wanted Bernard to remember this moment, that I do give credit where credit's due.
Well, Eamon, I couldn't top that. You have spoken eloquently, so you have there, Hector, I don't want to hear anything else about flowery chat or anything like that. I wouldn't going to say nothing about that. I just want to say, I stuck for words. Good. 7th place is Blightsome Squad, 38 points. They had 2 transfers and they lost 4 points as well. Now, Hector, I'll give you your opportunity to chat away on this.
Oh, well, I like Blightsome.
Blightsome, good manager. Blightsome always trying to do something. They brought in Mount. and Mount no play. They put Gallagher out, 13 points. A little bit of a smart, that transfer have to smart. You have to look and then bring tear to your eye thinking, why I do that? They brought in the Vardy, you got the 1 point. Lukaku no playing. The transfers, much I hate to say this, the transfers did not amount to much. They didn't amount to anything, Hector. Come on, 1 point out of the 2 transfers. Give it up. Eamon. Let Hector continue on there. They had Salah as the captain. It's 10 points. Saka is there. They also had the White and the Keane. They got 6 points each. The rest of the players in the defense not doing much. And 5 points from midfield, not very good. Is anybody else anything much to say about this?
I don't think we're going to talk too much about their bench. It's a bit of a shambles there, so it is. I think that this is a manager. He needs to rethink what they're doing long term here. Forget about short term gains and goals and just think about long term. Where is it that they want to be?
Mick, what would you say?
Well, I think that they probably need to look at their bench. It is unfortunate you bring Mount in and he's not playing and he's picked up an injury. Kovacic not doing anything out of there. So I think that if they get rid of those 2 players, bring in 2 decent players, they might stand a chance. I also think that they probably should change the forwards a little bit. St. Maximin's not doing much on. Let's face it, Tony's not doing much either. I'd probably leave Vardy there. But I'd be looking at possibly, maybe bring in Ronaldo or Ollie Watkins in there. Try and shake that up a little bit. Don't be like some of the other managers. Be different.
In 8th place is Lafayette Lions. They had 50 points. Now, they had a free hit. Mick, what did you make of this manager's tactic this week?
Okay, well, I don't think I'd played the free hit, but that's up to the manager. They got 50 points, however, but you look and you think the Toboga's got 50 points with 1 transfer, and the Arkham Avengers, they got 52 and they lost 4 points. So I don't think that free hit's really paid off as much as they probably would have wanted it to do. And they went for Salah as their captain, and that was 10 points. Rafinha got him 9, Smith Rowe got him 9, Livramento on the backs got him 6. The guys up the front, 3 of them 2 points each, and on the bench a couple of points. Probably not what I'd expect from a free hit, but look, it's keeping them there in 8th place. And I was looking back, and this is the team, that started a week late, and they managed to get themselves into holding in 8th place. They'll be happy with that, to the point, but probably would have liked to have seen a few more points coming in.
Hector, you wanted to say something there, so you waving. Yeah, I think that the free hit can work at times. I think, we say this, game week 10, very strange game week. Players that you expect to be getting points, not getting points. And I think when you look at this, Alexander-Arnold got the 1, Cancelo got the 2, Jota got the 1. Another week, they would be getting better points than this. So I would not worry too much about this. However, it's a free hit. Yeah, it is a free hit. They'll be reverting back to an older team. Perhaps maybe their older team might be better.
And that's what happens with the free hit. And, you just have to roll with it.
Gone up 1 place to 9th in the table is Rosie Rovers, 59 points. Gentlemen, Hector, you alright there? Yes, sorry, my foot got caught in chair, but I'm alright. I'm not going to fall over.
That's alright, don't fall over. You fall over, there'll be an awful cough over. People will think that the studio is falling in on top of us.
We wouldn't want that, would we, Eamon?
No, Mick, we wouldn't want that. That's why I said, they think that, look.
That's right, Eamon. You didn't realise what you were saying. I'm watching you, so I am.
Well, you shouldn't just be watching me. You should be listening to what's being said.
I am listening.
Gentlemen, can we get back here to our analysis? As I said, up to 9th place, gone up a place is Rosie Rovers, 59 points. Hector, this is a team that doesn't seem to be putting a lot of work in, but they're there or thereabouts. They're not down near the bottom of the table. They've managed to get themselves up to 9th. Yeah, they had no transfers. And as far as I know, they have had no transfers so far this season. Very, very strange. They had Fernandes as the captain, and Fernandes got them the 12 points. They had this is the thing that has really worked in their favour. They had a transfer. Bamford, or should I say, they had a substitution. Bamford, who is injured, went off, and Gabriel came in, and Gabriel bring in the 15 point. Very good. Chilwell have 8 points there. They also have the Cavani, 8 points. Buendia, 4 points. Shaw, 5 points. So they're getting the points in and around there. But, it's strange tactic, but I have to say, as you say, they got 59 points. Eamon, you have a comment on this, I take it? Without a doubt, this is the star manager of the week. Now, 59 points is not setting, the sky alight with fireworks. And it still comes across to me that there's not a lot of work being done here. But perhaps maybe even that is the tactic. They're not going to do too much work. They want to let the team work for itself. Well, yeah, you can let the team work for itself. But, geez Louise, I think a transfer wouldn't go amiss. I mean, okay, I'm going to say it here. This manager is listening to us. The manager for Ain't Got a Clue hadn't been tuned in and made a few changes and, got themselves 52 points. Yeah, Rosie Rovers didn't do any changes and got themselves 59, Eamon, so think about that. Yeah, I'm thinking about that. But I think the Rosie Rovers manager, if you're listening to us, you could make a transfer. Down the place to 10th is Can We Win Again, 48 points. Eamon, pass this one over to you. So, yeah, as you said, they got the 48 points. They had one transfer. Kovacic came in, didn't get any points. Odegaard went out and got 1 point. It's a nothing transfer. It's a waste of time doing the transfer. I'd rather sit down and have a cup of tea than be wasting my time with that sort of transfer. Like many managers, they decided to jump on the Salah bandwagon this weekend and have him as their captain. They got to 10 points. He didn't have faith in Ronaldo. He has Ronaldo as his vice captain. This is a manager. He should have more faith in his players. Now, Rafinha got 9 points. Benrahma got the 5 points. Defensively, they got 8 points out of 3 players. They had 10 points on the bench. And, that player could have been in there nice and handy. Didn't get in, not very good. And look, I think it's a case of this manager has took their eye off the ball this week. Need to tune in a little bit more, I think. That would be my thing. Mick, what would you say about this?
Well, yeah, I think they were disappointed with the 48 points. I think as Eamon says, the transfer didn't work out. The manager won't need us to be telling them about that. He'll know about that. Perhaps, probably should have gone with the Ronaldo and, maybe stuck with the Ronaldo a little bit.
Yeah, because they had Ronaldo captain in the previous game week and they just switched in to the Salah. And the Salah had, a much better week the previous week. So they're probably guided by the results then.
Well, that's right. Probably guided all right, but you need to sometimes think the big picture.
The big picture, Mick.
Yeah, you need to think about the big picture.
The big picture, Mick.
Yeah.
Very well. Bamford Rejects then are down in 11th place. A non-mover. 44 points. Hector, any comments, thoughts about this?
Another manager who will make the transfer. They went for Fernandes as the captain. So, they got the 12 points. But, however, apart from Mendy, who got the 6 points, Shaw got 5, Rafinha got 9, Benrahma got 5 points. The rest of the team, they're not working. They come across to me and they're fast asleep. They're lying, they're sleeping. We don't get up and run, score a goal and everything like that.
Yeah, not really great here, is it? But they're keeping in 11th place after all, and they're not losing ground, are they? They're not losing ground. I'm not sold on this manager, I have to say. I think this manager has switched off, and they're lucky. There's an element of luck here that they are staying in this position. Mighty Defenders got 32 points. They had one transfer. Mick, what did you think of this team?
Well, they changed their goalkeeper, so they brought Mendy in and got 6 points. They put Ray out. Ray's not playing, so that's a good result. They went for Salah as the captain, got the 10 points. Liverpool got 6 points, and that's about it. There's not much else going on here. I have to say, I wouldn't be very impressed with this. The result in this. There's Duffy has no points. Janssen got 1, Cancelo's got 2, Townsend's got 2, Dallas is 2, St. Maximin 2. This is not great. The bench is no better. Flowery is the goalkeeper, got 1 point. Everybody else has got nothing. Kovacic's not even playing. To me, I think there's a lot of questions being asked of this manager. They're going to have to step up to the mark here. It's not looking very good for them here. I think they're not really getting the grips with what they should be doing here.
Eamon, you wanted to say something there. Yeah, look, it isn't very good here. They got 32 points. They're 10 points below the average. They're a bit of a yo-yo team. They go up, they go back down. And I think that, for me, I think the Mighty Defenders will be, they'll be in a 10th, 11th, 12th place this season. I don't see them going down too much further, but I certainly don't see them going up. And they're certainly not going to be a challenger. At the moment, they're not defending for a start, and there's nothing mighty about them. And as I said, they're just a little yo-yo, up and down, up and down.
13th place has What a Beauty 99. They got 36 points, and they had 2 transfers. And Hector, any thoughts about how this team are doing and what direction they look like they might be going in? You say they had the 2 transfers, and they had the Fernandez, the captain. Now, when it comes to their transfers, a Mount was brought in. He don't get no points. Torres was put out. He don't get no points. Tielemans was brought in. He got 2 points. And Pogba's not playing. Not much of a transfer. I would not be happy with the transfer. I would not be happy with the outcome of the transfer. When you make transfer, you want to try and get maximum points from players you're bringing in. Not he might play, or he gets the same point as the guy who went out, or he gets 1 point, 0 point. You want to get the maximum guy in there. They had Guerra, the goalkeeper, he got 7 points. Rudiger got the 6 points. Salah had 5, and that's it. Nothing much going on there.
No, there's nothing much going on this. And Foster, the goalkeeper on the bench, got 2 points. The rest of it is dismal. It's lit up like one of those terminals in the China syndrome. It looks like a nuclear reactor is going off there with reds and yellows. If I were to describe this team, they're stuck in a rut. They should be doing better. They can do better. We've seen them do a lot better than this. The transfers not working out. They probably would be better off to sit back for a week or 2. Identify the players that they currently have who are at least performing to some level, and then they should be able to identify the players who are not. And then over the course of, and this could be 4 or 5 game weeks, get them out. Unless, of course, they want a big change or anything like that, But yeah, they're not really doing what they should be doing, It's disheartening sometimes when you see good managers not doing what they need to do.
But they're also affected by the players, lads, aren't they? I mean, if the players aren't performing, that's hardly the manager's fault.
Well, the manager has selected these players, and it falls on the manager. You select the players.
Well, he brought in Mount, but he wasn't going to know Mount was, he didn't bring Mount in, Mount being injured, did he?
No, he didn't. But the thing is, he's left Lukaku there and Obafemi. They are injured. Why are they not getting shipped out? But he could have left Torres there. Torres didn't get a point. He didn't get a point for the transfer anyway, so that's 1 transfer wasted. I'd be looking at getting rid of Lukaku and Obafemi. The 2 red guys there, get them out.
I suppose, yeah, that's interesting. Then down to 14th place. Again, a non-mover is maximum effort. We should actually say, and sorry if I've missed this, Mighty Defenders and What a Beauty 99, they have both dropped down places. And as I said, maximum effort didn't move. 28 points. And Eamon, I see you looking at me. You want to talk about this?
I certainly do, yeah. Look, 1 transfer that, went back to front. They brought in Salah, who got 5 points. They put Mane out, who got 7. And then they decided they wanted Salah as the captain. Another guy who wants to jump on the Salah bandwagon. He's coming to the party too late, and he's got stung in this game week. Benrahma got 5 points, and that was it. The rest of the guys are,
well, he had Shaw 5 points on the bench.
Yeah, exactly. He's on the bench. He's not even on the pitch. He decided he wanted Cancelo 2 points, Diaz 1 point, Van Dijk 1 point. Yeah. So that just shows you where this manager is. In fact, the rest of the players here with their 1s and their 2s, I think they must have been hanging out with the players from What a Beauty 99. Because, as I said before, this is Tweedledum and Tweedledee. They're stuck together. In fact, you nearly think that these 2 are sitting down together and saying, well, I've got this one. Oh yeah, I like him. I'll have that player as well. And then they end up just faffing about altogether. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if What a Beauty 99 is being swayed by maximum effort.
Hold on a minute, Eamon. That's an audacious thing to come out with.
I don't know what Eamon's trying to say here. What are you trying to say, Eamon? You're trying to say that maximum effort, you're putting pressure on What a Beauty 99.
Yeah, Eamon, what is it you want saying? I do not know.
Well, no, listen, what I'm saying here is, it's very coincidental. These guys, these two players, and these two teams, these managers are stuck together here constantly. Like, there's very rarely that you'll see them separated. Right? You don't see What a Beauty 99 in like 10th place, a maximum effort down in 15th or 14th, where he is at the moment. No, they're stuck there together, and they're both really not performing the way they need to be. It's like there's some sort of collusion with these guys that they don't want to be dealing with them.
Eamon, this is ridiculous stuff altogether. I mean, first of all, you're trying to say that the manager of What a Beauty 99 is now being brainwashed, is it, by Maximum Effort's manager? Is that what you're trying to say? Well, I don't know. It's an observation. If we look back, we will see that these guys are nearly stuck together. The Tweedledum and the Tweedledee. So, I don't know. Something's not right here. Something's gone amiss with it. I can't put my finger on it. I'll do my best.
You do that, Columbo, yeah? Just one more question.
Yeah, what is it?
No, that's what Columbo says, isn't it? He says, I've just got one more question.
Seriously? I thought you had a question for me.
No, I'm not got no question for you at all, Eamon. I was just listening to you rattling on there. I just said, I thought you sound like Columbo. He said, you're going to get to the bottom of this. And you said, just one more question.
Yeah, I said, do you have a question for me or not?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Right. Okay. And Hector, what would you say of this team? What do they need to do? I think that as manager, I think that they need to go back to the drawing board. I think they need to have a look at their team. I think, you have Cancelo and Diaz in the defence. Perhaps maybe drop one of them out, bring another defender in. I'm not too sure about the Bernardo and certainly the Gray. They're not doing the business there. And up front, again, we might want to change somebody. Back to the drawing board. Few little changes. I think if they changed 2-3 players, possibly maybe 4 players, at least one defender, 2 or 3 midfielders, and maybe a forward. They change the team around, their season will change too, so they will. Finally then, in 15th place, El Loco John, 35 points and no transfers. Eamon.
Yes, I think I'd like to say something about this, if I may. Can I say something about this, lads?
You speak away there, Eamon. I'm all ears.
Yeah, go ahead, listen.
Okay, well, this is another transfer shy manager, and needs to maybe listen to us, or at least try something. I'm nearly pleading with this manager. Do something like Lukaku, who's injured as the captain, on the bench. That just does not make sense. Mesler then is their goalkeeper, vice captain, 4 points. They had White, who got 6 points. Rafinha got the 9. They had Watkins up front, and that's about it. And the bench is more than, some of the other terminals that we've seen from some other managers. There's a nuclear reactor or something that's gone at the blink here with the reds on it there. I have to say this. Mijo's Tiger Tokens, they were proud of this team, how well they're doing, because they're not moving anywhere, they're not doing anything. We had that with Mijo's Tiger Tokens, where we felt that the manager had just switched off. I don't that even query the question, was his manager even switched on?
Well, I don't know, Eamon. I think they could come back, yeah,
well, they're falling and drifting away there, so they are.
Yeah, well, they currently have 400 points. Maximum effort, 445. Not a big jump there. And I mean, What a Beauty 99 has 460. Mighty Defenders, 462. Bamford Rejects is 468. You could have a good week and suddenly close that gap.
Well, you won't have a good week if you're going to have Lukaku as your captain. Now, let's not beat around the bush. Changes need to be made to this team. I mean, last week we said they need to be shook up a bit.
Eamon, don't go any further.
I'm not going any further. I'm just that they need to be shook up a little bit. They weren't shook up. This is
they still got 35 points. It's better than Maximum Effort's 28, isn't it? And certainly, I mean, they're hanging in there and doing something.
Yeah, they're hanging in there just about, but they need to actually take some action now.
Let's see them being proactive for a change. Very well. That's our league table, gentlemen. Thank you very much for all your analysis and your comments. And thank you for joining us today. I hope that you might come back next week.
Yes, I certainly will be back.
Yeah, I will be back next week,
Well, yeah, I'd like to come back again, if I can.
This, am I right with this? The podcast here is handy with, Hector, myself, and the host. And it's fine when we have special guests coming in, but I mean, if the special guest is going to be here week in, week out, it's kind of crowding our space a little bit.
What do you mean it's crowding our space, Eamon? Sure, I mean, it would be no different if we had Mick one week and we had your friend John in one other week and we had Michal O'Mara-Hurtig in before. I mean, sure, we could have a guest every week. Sure, what's the difference with having Mick here?
Okay, I take your point.
There you go. Yeah, man, yeah. Well, look, I'll have a think about it. I'm having a few chats with lads at the moment about maybe getting another job, and look, if nothing comes up for that and I'm free, I'll be back.
All right. Thank you very much. And as I said, pleasure to have you with us. Listeners, I would like to thank you for joining us on today's show. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've enjoyed the chat and the banter with the lads here. And also to our managers who are listening to us, I hope that you're all keeping well and taking note of what Eamon, Hector and Mick have to say. So until next week's show, I'd like you to remember to subscribe, tell your friends, and have a good day, good night, wherever you are in the world. We'll talk to you next week. Take care. Bye.